Small Falls was the kind of town where time moved slower, and memories stuck like dust on old picture frames. Rachel Clinfield had once lived in this town, until the age of 14, when her father's new position relocated the family to Austin. Those early years had left a soft imprint on her. The scent of spring honeysuckle, the creek where she'd read books under willow trees, the dusty path to school. But not all memories were kind. Some, like the silence in classrooms, the quick glances at her mismatched socks, and the mocking laughter after tripping on the library steps, still lingered like thorns in her mind. She wasn't the girl with the perfect hair or the confident voice. She had been the quiet one, the bookworm, Shadow, and Ryan Tucson. He had been the son, popular, loud, athletic, and irritatingly perfect. They barely spoke except for one group project in 6th grade. She remembered his short temper and sarcastic jokes, even when they were doing just basic math. When she left Small Falls, she never expected to think of Ryan again. But 12 years had passed. She was 26 now. Different. Stronger. She had a degree in early childhood development and a dream rooted in purpose. A dream to return to Small Falls and start a creche. It would be more than a daycare. It would be a sanctuary for working mothers, single parents, children left too long in front of screens. She envisioned gardens, music, shared meals, and laughter in the halls. She bought a small plot of land just outside the town square, the old Hartsfield property. The moment she saw it, her heart knew. It was perfect, close to nature, near the creek she once loved, and surrounded by open sky. She could already hear children's laughter echoing through it. But Small Falls had changed, or maybe it hadn't changed at all. Bureaucracy was thicker now, and leading it, Ryan Tucson, the town administrator. 28, clean-cut, always in crisp shirts, and to her surprise, still just as insufferable. Their first meeting wasn't confrontational. It was cold. "Rachel Clinfield," he said, glancing at her application papers like they were covered in dust. "Back for a visit or—" "I'm here to build a creche," she replied firmly. "I've submitted all necessary documents. Just need the approval to begin foundational work." He scanned the file, then looked up, expression unreadable. "We'll review it." But weeks passed. No word. Then came the first rejection, zoning dispute. She adjusted the plans. Another rejection. Environmental impact assessment missing. She submitted it. Then, building height regulation conflict. Each time she worked harder. Each time she was denied. Rachel couldn't help noticing that the rejections bore Ryan's signature. She requested another meeting. He met her with a smirk. "Persistence is admirable. But Small Falls isn't Austin. Things take time here." She gritted her teeth. "I'm not here to rush. I'm here to build something meaningful." He leaned back in his chair. "Or maybe you're here to prove something." His tone stung. "Excuse me. You left. Now you're back with big plans. Some folks might say you're trying to fix what you didn't fight for before." 'Twas low. And it worked. Her breath hitched. "You don't know anything about what I fought for," she said, voice trembling. Their conversation ended coldly. But Rachel refused to quit. Weeks turned into months. She hosted community meetings, gathered support, revised plans, and held story hours at the library to build trust. Parents signed petitions. The town buzzed with appreciation, but Ryan remained unmoved. Privately, he reviewed her progress. Her files were impeccable. Her community involvement, impressive. But his stamp still didn't come. And yet, he watched her, from behind his office blinds across the town square, during public forums. There was something in his eyes. Frustration, yes, but something else too. One late afternoon, Rachel returned to the property site with a new banner. Future home of Small Falls Creche, where every child matters. As she hammered it into the ground, a car pulled up. Ryan. He stepped out, crossed his arms. You're stubborn. I'm committed. You're exhausting every channel. Even city council is starting to side with you. Because this matters, Ryan. Silence. Then he said, you always had that look in school. Like the world was happening around you, and you were just waiting for your moment. She froze. I was surviving. He nodded once. I know. Before she could ask what he meant, he turned and left. Rachel stood stunned. It was the first time he had acknowledged their shared past. Something in her chest stirred. Confusion, maybe. Or something deeper. She didn't know then that Ryan carried his own wounds. That while she had been the quiet girl in the corner, he had been the golden boy carrying secrets. Ones that made his smile a little too perfect. His eyes a little too tired. But soon everything would unravel. And the truth would finally speak. Ryan hadn't meant to get in her way. Not entirely. First it was about protocol, red tape, then pride. But lately, it was something messier. Something that knotted in his stomach every time she walked into a room with that determined gaze and wind-blown hair. He remembered her now. Not just as the girl in glasses, but the one who always sat near the windows, sketching quietly in the corners of her notebooks. He didn't know how to admit it. He had noticed her then. He just hadn't known what to do with the noticing. So instead, he joined in the laughter, let his friends joke, watched from a distance. But he'd never forgotten. And now she was back, strong, defiant, stunning. He found himself looking forward to her emails, to the clack of her boots echoing in the municipal hall. He found excuses to reread her proposals. One evening, after another council session where Rachel defended her project with eloquence and calm fire, Ryan lingered. She packed her bag slowly, eyes tired. Still think I'm trying to prove something? She asked softly. He sighed. No, I think you're trying to heal something. She looked up sharply. He added, and maybe so am I. That night, he approved the final set of documents. The next morning, she found the envelope on her doorstep. Tears welled in her eyes. But what stunned her more was the note attached. You were never invisible. She folded it and held it to her chest. A week later they met again. This time on the creche site. The sun was setting. The land was cleared. Construction would start soon. I owe you an apology, Ryan said. Rachel turned. Why? For not seeing you clearly before. And for pretending not to now. She blinked. I used to watch you. In middle school. You always seemed so far away from everyone. Like you belonged somewhere else. Somewhere better. I didn't think anyone noticed me. "I did," he said. "I just didn't know how to say it." She stepped closer, voice barely above a whisper. "When I moved to Austin, my biggest grief wasn't the move. It was leaving Small Falls without ever saying goodbye to you." Ryan's eyes widened. Rachel laughed nervously. "I thought you'd laugh if you knew. I wasn't popular. I wasn't anything. You were everything," he said. "You still are." Then he reached for her hand. And for the first time, Rachel let the past go and stepped into the story she never thought she'd live. Some hearts aren't lost. They're just waiting to be seen.